5 undefeated teams remain in the NFL. With the Bengals and Browns playing each other this week, how did the other 3 do in their games? With the Baltimore Ravens right behind the teams with no losses, can they manage to keep pace with them after a battle with Tampa Bay? And the New York Jets are on a 4-game winning streak. Can they make it a 5-game winning streak as they head to Pittsburgh? All this and more coming up here on Tecmo Rewind. Hello everybody and welcome to Tecmo Rewind. I'm your host Joe, here to bring you all the highlights from around the Tecmo NFL season. We are done with week 7. We're almost halfway through this entire thing, and let me just say, when you get to around this point in the season, you think you might know where things are going, but surprises can happen. Teams that got off to what seemed like bad starts start to pick up, maybe even sneak into the playoffs. Teams that were really good start to slow down, stumble, maybe even start to end up missing the playoffs entirely. And sometimes the teams you were right on all along. We got plenty of games to go through. With the Bears and Cowboys off this week, we have 15 games to talk about. So, let's start our events up in Orchard Park. Titans and Bills taking each other on first quarter on a 3rd and 3. Levis going to toss this one to Tony Pollard for a 3-yard touchdown run to make it 7-0 Titans. Bills would get the ball, and after driving down the field, Josh Allen looking and throwing for Keon Coleman. Coleman getting a 40-yard touchdown pass here, ties this game up at 7 on the ensuing kickoff. Tyjae Spears zigging and zagging around the kick team, going all the way up to the 38 for a 35-yard return. They keep driving down the field, and Levis would toss to Pollard to punch this in for a 6-yard touchdown, 14-7 Titans. Next Bills possession, Allen in shotgun formation, looking and waiting patiently before he's going to throw for Curtis Samuel to his left. Samuel dives for this one, but he does get into Tennessee territory and gets taken down about the 29 for a 44-yarder. Start of the second quarter. Allen going to hand this one off to James Cook, and he's going to run along the near side for a 9-yard touchdown. Ties this game up at 14. First play of the ensuing drive, a toss for Tony Pollard. He runs along the far sideline, and he's going to fumble the ball, and it goes right into the arms of Damar Hamlin. Tried to be the hero last week, gets a good scoop and score here, a 23-yarder to make it 21-14. Next Titans possession, Levis going to get wrapped up before he's finally taken down after multiple attempts. Daquan Jones going to get credited with the 9-yard sack. Next Bills possession, Josh Allen looking, waiting, throwing over to his left for Dalton Kincaid, and Kincaid going to burst through the holes of the defense to make it a 28-14 lead. Next Titans possession, Tyjae Spears going to fumble the ball, bouncing around, is recovered by Lloyd Cushenberry, thankfully for Tennessee. But a few plays later, Levis going to throw for Tyjae Spears over the middle. He's going to tripped up, fumbles the ball. Damar Hamlin scoops it up for Buffalo. They wouldn't be able to do anything before the end of the second quarter. Third quarter, Josh Allen runs out of the end zone. Arden Key going to sack him for a loss of 6. They punt. Next Titans possession, Tyjae Spears going to run up the middle. Going to avoid one more tackle before he gets in for the end zone on a 44-yard run. 28-21, Buffalo still has the lead. Allen dropping back, looking and throwing to his left for Dalton Kincaid. He's going to fumble the ball. It's going to bounce around before it's picked up by Chidobe Awuzie of the Titans. Very next play, Levis in shotgun formation, tries to run forward, going to get wrapped up and taken down by Teron Johnson. A couple plays after that, Levis going to get taken down by Daquan Jones this time. They'd be punting the ball. They would punt the ball after that. Josh Allen going to throw for Keon Coleman on this next play, and Coleman going to run, keep on going. He's still on his feet before he's taken down at the 25 for a 48-yard gain. Very next play, Allen going to get taken down by Ernest Jones, sends him back 9 yards. Very next play after that, Allen dropping back, tries to run forward, fumbles the ball. That's going to be Jeffrey Simmons with the strip sack and the recovery. He's going to take this one 21 yards. They keep driving down the field on 4th down. Hand off to Pollard. It's a touchdown to tie this game up at 28. Josh Allen in shotgun formation. We got a very close game here right now. Throw to the left for Dalton Kincaid. Kincaid going to fumble the ball. It's going to bounce into the arms of Quandre Diggs, who starts taking it back the other way for Tennessee. A few plays after that, Levis waiting, throws to his left for Calvin Ridley in the corner of the end zone. Touchdown Titans to make it 35-28. But fourth quarter, Allen and the Bills driving down the field. Going to throw to his right for Keon Coleman. He's got the touchdown here on a 16-yarder. We're tied up at 35. Tennessee going to hand this one off. No, play action. Terrell Bernard, though, not fooled there. He gets a sack of Will Levis for a loss of 9. They punt. Next Buffalo possession. Allen going to get taken down by Roger McCreary for a loss of 3. Couple plays after that, Allen going to throw to his right for Keon Coleman. He's got this one. Can he? Could he? Will he? He will. It's a 42-35 game. Tennessee needs to get some points on the board. Levis going to get taken down by Von Miller. We haven't really called his name this season. You have a few times, though. Very next play, Levis, play action. Going to throw to the man. He play action 2 on the 4th down. Throw incomplete. Tyjae Spears not able to recover that. Turnover on downs, and Josh Allen just going to add up the score as he throws a touchdown to James Cook. That makes it 49-35 as our final score. Buffalo goes to 3-3. They take on Seattle next week in Seattle. Meanwhile, Tennessee dropping to 2-3, and they got to head up to the Motor City to take on the Lions. The Eagles and Giants rivalry is one of the more bitter ones in the NFL, and this rivalry would resume again today. Devin Singletary and Gunnar Olszewski return for the Giants. First quarter, Hurts in shotgun formation. Gonna throw this one to his right for Devontae Smith, and Smith is wide open. No one anywhere even close to him once he's got this one. Touchdown for the Eagles on the 66-yarder to make it 7-0. Next Giants possession. Jones dropping back. Gonna throw to his right for Malik Neighbors, his own key weapon here. Neighbors gonna get a 47-yarder before he's taken down at about the 36. A couple plays after that, Jones drops back, looks and tries to throw for Wan'Dale Robinson. Instead, he finds Reed Blankenship, but he fumbles the ball. It bounces around before it's picked up by Daniel Bellinger of the Giants, so they keep possession. They keep driving down the field, and Jones going to throw for Darius Slayton on this one. Leaps up to try and get it, overthrows him, and unfortunately goes into the hands of C.J. Gardner-Johnson for the pick. So that's a touchback. Very next play, a throw for Devontae Smith. He is wide open, got plenty of room to run. A 53-yarder before he's finally taken down just outside of the red zone. Very next play, Hurts dropping back, but he's going to try and run forward. He's going to get taken down after being wrapped up. Tyler Nubin going to get credited for the 3-yard sack. A handoff here. No, it's a play action by Hurts. Going to throw for the same man that got the handoff, though. A leaping grab by Saquon Barkley. Touchdown to make it 14-0. Next Giants possession. Jones, play action, roll to the left, throws to his right, and you're not supposed to do that, Daniel. That's Quinyon Mitchell who gets the interception. And a few plays later, Saquon Barkley, oh hey, yeah, didn't he used to play for the Giants? Touchdown for him to make it 21-0 Eagles. On the next drive for the Giants, Jones going to try and run forward before he's taken down by Milton Williams for a loss of 2. That ends the first quarter. Second quarter, Hurts looking and throwing for Devontae Smith yet again over the middle. Only got 1 or 2 men to beat. Not able to beat them, though, but it is a 52-yarder. Very next play, Hurts just says, you know what? I'm taking it myself. I'm running this one, and you cannot stop me. And they will not stop him. A 21-yard touchdown run by Jalen Hurts to make it 28-0 Philadelphia. Next Giants possession. Jones tries to run forward. Going to get taken down by Nakobe Dean for a loss of 2. Giants would punt, and the Eagles would drive down the field. Jake Elliott with the 33-yarder to make it 31-0 Philly. Next Giants possession after that. Stop me if this sounds familiar. Jones tries to run forward. Going to get wrapped up before he's taken down by Nakobe Dean for a loss of 2. Very next play, though, Jones going to try and ram it forward again, and this time it's Quinyon Mitchell who gets credited with the sacks, lose 2. They punt the ball. On the punt return, Britton Covey only going to take this one 6 yards, and he's going to unfortunately be injured on the punt return. So Kenneth Gainwell going to have to come in for him at punt returner. Third quarter, Jones with a man in motion, dropping back. Going to look for Malik Neighbors. Avoids the potential interception there. Neighbors going to get it into Philadelphia territory at 40-yarder. Very next play, though, Jones going to try this again, but he's going to try and run forward. Milton Williams there with another sack. That's his second of the day for a loss of 5. But the Giants keep on driving down the field. Jones with the play action, rolling to his left, throwing for Malik Neighbors in the middle. That's a touchdown to make it 31-7, so the Giants won't go scoreless on this one. Hurts going to try and run forward, running into a lineman before he's taken down by Andrew Phillips for the loss of 3, but they would keep driving down the field. Hurts going to try and throw to his left for A.J. Brown. He's been rather quiet this season, but you can't forget about him. That's a touchdown to make it 38-7. Giants going to recover this fumble on the kick return. Andrew Thomas going to get credited with the kick return fumble off of Gunnar Olszewski. Milton Williams going to sack Daniel Jones here for a loss of 4. A couple plays later, Jones dropping back and throw to his right for Malik Neighbors for a touchdown here, make it 38-14 off the 38-yarder. On the ensuing kickoff, Isaiah Rodgers going to avoid potential tacklers, still on his feet, keeps on going. You can't stop him. He's going to take this one 58 yards to within the 40 of the Giants. That's a good field possession, and Saquon Barkley says, give it to me. I want to score against my old team again. 11-yard touchdown run to make it 45-14. The Giants would drive down the field. Devin Singletary go and get the touchdown here after fighting for the extra yards to get in there. Make it 45-21, but Jalen Hurts just going to take it in again for another touchdown. 52-21. Eagles still have the lead. Jones in garbage time. Gonna look and throw for Darius Slayton. Leaping grab here. Slayton gonna make this one a 40-yarder. Nice job there. Unfortunately, still does not really matter since it's way too big of a deficit to catch up. Quinion Mitchell going to get credited for the 2-yard sack. 4th down. The Giants need just some kind of form of pride. Gonna throw to for Darius Slayton, essentially over the middle. He's got the touchdown here on the 20-yarder. But the Eagles still come away with the 52-28 victory. They improve to 2-3, and next week they head to Cincinnati. Their last meeting ended in a tie back during the COVID days. Meanwhile, the Giants still winless. They're at 0-5, and next week they head to Pittsburgh. Well, once upon a time, these two teams were roommates in the same building. And now, the Rams, after having left and then come back to LA, they've got a new roommate in the form of the Chargers, but they're still willing to take on the Raiders. First quarter, Stafford in shotgun formation, looking and waiting, going to try and run forward, going to get wrapped up and taken down by Robert Spillane for a loss of 8. A couple plays later, Stafford going to wait and throw for Puka Nacua to his right. Puka Nacua, he's wide open. Can he? Could he? Will he? He's going to take this one all the way to the 1 just outside of the end zone. And to add more pain onto this, he is injured on that 90-yard reception. So Tutu Atwell going to come in at wide receiver 2. Very next play, Stafford going to hand this one off to Kyron Williams for the punch-in. 7-0 Rams. First Raiders drive. Minshew dropping back, but he's going to get taken down by Kobe Turner for a loss of 8. They keep driving down the field, but Minshew going to try and run forward before he's taken down by Quentin Lake for a loss of 4 on that one. 3rd down. Minshew looking, going to try and run forward, going to run into the defense. Troy Reeder going to get credited with the takedown there for a loss of 6. They would punt on the Rams' next possession. Divine Diablo, you can't forget about him when you're playing offense against the Raiders' defense. Loss of 10. Rams would punt. Raiders' next possession. Minshew going to get taken down by Troy Reeder again for a loss of 4, but they keep driving down the field. Minshew going to look and throw to his left for Devontae Adams for the 12-yard touchdown pass. Ties this game up at 7. First play of the ensuing drive. Stafford looking, going to run forward, but Divine Diablo there to take him down for a loss of 5. They would punt in the second quarter. A fumble recovery, though. Kyron Williams going to get credited with it, and he avoids Tyreek McAllister's attempts to take him down for the tackle. Touchdown Rams to make it 14-7. The Raiders would punt, and on the Rams' next possession, Stafford going to try and run forward, running into linemen. He's going to get wrapped up before Jack Jones going to get credited with the 6-yard sack. They would punt. Next Raiders possession, Minshew going to wait patiently, throw over the middle for Brock Bowers, the rookie tight end out of Georgia, breaks 2 simultaneous tackles for the touchdown to tie this game up at 14. Next Rams possession, Stafford going to throw to the left for Cooper Kupp, who dives for this one, but he's still going. He gets back up, and he keeps on running with it for a 48-yard pass. A couple plays after that, Stafford dropping back, tries to run forward, but he's going to get he's going to get scooped up and taken down by Marcus Epps. So they got to go with the Joshua Carty 50-yard field goal, nearly blocked. Unfortunately, doinks off the right upright. They missed. Third quarter, Minshew dropping back, tries to run forward, but Kobe Turner there for another sack, taking back 8 yards. They keep driving down the field. Minshew waiting, gonna throw for Jacoby Myers to his right for the touchdown, make it 21-14. Next possession for the Rams. Stafford gonna try and run forward after being in shotgun. Malcolm Kuntz gets credited with the 6-yard sack. They would rely on Joshua Carty yet again for his leg. This time it goes through for the 31-yarder to make it 21-17. Fourth quarter after the Raiders punt. Stafford going to throw for Tutu Atwell, who dives for this one, and he's in for the touchdown after he gets back up. 24-21 Rams. Next, Raiders possession. Toss for Zamir White, and he is taken down and injured. A loss of 5 on that run to make it even worse. So Alexander Madison going to come in at running back. The Raiders, a couple plays after that, it's a 3rd and 24. Minshew going to try and run forward, taken down by Kobe Turner for a loss of 8 on that one. They would punt. But on the Rams' next possession, Divine Diablo going to get to Matthew Stafford for his 3rd sack of the day. That's a loss of 9. But the Rams offense, a couple plays after that, Stafford going to look and throw for Cooper Kupp. He's got the 47-yard pass here. He's going to get it into the red zone. That would help to set up Matthew Stafford dropping back and trying to run forward to throw for Cooper Kupp yet again in the end zone for the 11-yard touchdown. 31-21 Rams. On the ensuing kickoff, Tyreek McAllister trying to avoid tacklers. Unfortunately, picks him down, and he's injured on that 14-yard return. Amir Abdullah going to come in at the return positions. Couple plays after that, Minshew just trying for pride at this point, or perhaps a miracle. A throw to the left for Devontae Adams. Adams going to take this one 54 yards, but he will be stopped, and that will do it for the highlights. Rams come away with a 31-21 victory here. They go to 2-3, and they take on the Minnesota Vikings next week. Meanwhile, the Raiders dropping to a very embarrassing 1-5. And next week, they have probably their most hated rival, the Kansas City Chiefs. Now for a battle of birds, the Seahawks and Falcons. Zach Charbonnet coming back from injury, as is Kirk Cousins, who is returning to start the offense for Atlanta. First quarter, though, the Seahawks will get the ball first, but David Onyemata sacks Geno Smith for a loss of 6. They keep going down the field, and Smith looking impatiently throwing for DK Metcalf to his left. Metcalf going to avoid potential tackle for a 46-yard touchdown. Makes this 7-0 Seattle. On the ensuing kick return, Jace McClellan going to run along the near side before cutting back to the middle of the field. He's going to get taken down after a 32-yarder. They keep driving down the field, and Tyler Algier going to get this 3-yard touchdown to tie the game up. Next Seahawks possession, Smith dropping back. Going to look and throw for Tyler Lockett over the middle. Lockett got the 21-yarder to make this 14-7. Second quarter, Cousins going to toss this one to Bijan Robinson. He's going to run along the far sideline while in Seattle territory. He's going to fumble the ball on the tackle, but he's going to fumble it out of bounds. That's good for Atlanta. They're just going to go with the Younghoe Koo 45-yard field goal. He boots it in, but the Seahawks still lead 14-10. Seahawks next possession. Smith going to try and run forward. Going to try and avoid the potential defenders, but unable to avoid Caden Ellis after he gets wrapped up for the loss of 2. A couple plays after that, though, Smith dropping back, waiting patiently, throwing to his left for Jackson Smith and Jigba, and he's got the touchdown here to make it a 28-yard touchdown pass and a 21-10 Seahawks lead. Next Falcons possession, Cousins going to get taken down by Jerron Reed for a loss of 8, so they would punt. Next Seahawks possession, Smith going to try and run forward and run into lineman, fumbles the ball. Zach Harrison credited with the strip sack and the recovery, but not able to do anything before halftime. It's 21-10. Falcons' first possession of the second half. Cousins going to throw to his left for Bijan Robinson, but he's going to find Devin Witherspoon instead. The Seahawks would drive down the field, and a throw for Tyler Lockett is a touchdown pass to make it a 28-10 lead for Seattle. But the Falcons still got some fight left in them. A toss for Bijan Robinson is a touchdown to make it 28-17 off the 2-yarder. Seahawks next possession, Smith going to try and run forward, taken down by Grady Jarrett for the sack. And unfortunately, that's not the worst of it. Geno Smith injured on that sack for the loss of 7. So that means they got to get the acquisition they got from the Commanders in the offseason, Sam Howell, who they traded for. Howell on his first drive drives down the field for Seattle, gives it to Kenneth Walker for the touchdown, make it 35-17 Seahawks. Next Falcons possession. Cousins, who's also a former Commander, tries to run forward, taken down by Byron Murphy for the loss of 7. They would punt. Fourth quarter. Start of the fourth quarter, actually. Howell going to try and run forward. Caden Ellis going to get credited with the sack to send him back 2 yards. They would punt. On the Falcons' next possession, they drive down the field. A throw for Bijan Robinson. He dives for the touchdown here to make it 35-24. But Seattle keeps on driving down the field on their next possession. Howell going to throw for Noah Fant. When was the last time you heard his name here? That's a 42-24 lead off the 18-yard touchdown. Byron Murphy going to sack Kirk Cousins, send it back 9 yards, but they keep driving down the field. Cousins going to try and run forward here, but not long enough from Byron Murphy to take him down for the loss of 8. Very next play, Cousins dropping back. Got to find somebody. Throw to the left for Darnell Mooney. Mooney going to not able to get the first down. He was supposed to get 20. He only got 16. And Kenneth Walker going to get handed this one, and he's just going to run all over the Atlanta defense here. A 32-yard run. They keep driving down the field. Howell going to try and get one more score before time expires. Unfortunately, A.J. Terrell going to get the interception here. Takes it back 35 yards before he's taken down around the 36. But the Seahawks did the damage already. 42-24, they come away with the win. Seattle improves to 4-2, like we said before. They take on the Bills next week. And meanwhile, the Falcons, they go to 3-3, and they have to take on Tampa in Tampa. Speaking of Blackbird teams down in Tampa, the Buccaneers were hosting the Ravens this week. Rachaad White making his return along with Bucky Irving for the Buccaneers. They might need them both. First quarter, Lamar waiting patiently, doesn't even move. Throw for Mark Andrews, who breaks a tackle with style on that stiff arm. He gets to about the 36-yard line, and unfortunately, that will do it for his day. Injured on the 28-yard reception, so Justice Hill going to have to come in to replace him at tight end. A couple plays later, Lamar going to try and run forward after he stepped back and decides, you know what, I'm taking it myself. A 35-yard touchdown run to make it 7-0 Ravens strike first. First Buccaneers possession of the game. Mayfield dropping back, trying to run forward here, but he's going to get wrapped up and taken down. Nnamdi Madubuike is going to get credited with the sack for the loss of 3. Tampa Bay would punt. On the Ravens' next possession, Lamar going to get swarmed by the defense. Levante David credited with the sack. A couple plays later, 3rd and 21. After the loss of 11 on that sack that was done by David. A throw for Zay Flowers over the middle, essentially, although it's along the far sideline. It's a first down after a 44-yard pass. And a couple plays after that, Jackson going to throw for Rashad Bateman to his right. That's a touchdown to make it 14-0 Baltimore. Next Buccaneers possession. Mayfield trying to run forward. Going to get taken down by Travis Jones for the loss of 7. On the next possession for Baltimore, Derrick Henry going to get handed the ball. He's going to run along the far sideline and keep on going. Tries to fight for more yardage. That's a 32-yard run. Very next play, Jackson going to try and hand this one off to Henry. He's going to fumble the ball, and it's going to get picked up by Jamel Dean. Jamel Dean's got one man to beat. Defense is coming, but can he? Could he? Will he? He will! Fights for the last few yards, but it's 14-7 going into the second quarter. Mayfield going to throw to his right for Mike Evans. Evans going to fumble it, but he fumbles it out of bounds. Good job there for Tampa. 3rd and 14 for Tampa Bay. A couple plays later, Mayfield going to get sacked by Roquan Smith for the loss of 9. They would punt. On the Ravens' next possession, Jackson going to wait patiently, all kinds of time, going to throw for Zay Flowers to his left, and Flowers going to take this one 31 yards. That's the good news. The bad news is Zay Flowers got hurt thanks to the tackle that was done, so that means that Nelson Aguilar is going to have to come in to replace him. Very next play, Lamar, play action, gonna throw essentially over the middle for Aguilar for the touchdown to make it 21-7. Buccaneers would get the ball back, and just before halftime, Chase McLaughlin boots in a 35-yard field goal. Third quarter, Justice Hill getting a 20-yard punt return here, and unfortunately now he is hurt. So the Ravens gonna have to dig deep for some players. So Rasheen Ali comes in for wide receiver. Patrick Ricard coming in at return man. Ravens would drive down the field, and Jackson just going to take it in for himself for the 2-yard run, 28-10. Next, Buccaneers possession. Mayfield going to get swarmed. Roquan Smith credited with the sack for the loss of 9. On the punt return, the very next play, Ricard going to take this one not very far, 11 yards, and he is injured on that punt return. They don't have much in terms of depth, so Nelson Aguilar going to come in at kick and punt returns. This has been a very injury-filled day for the Baltimore Ravens, and Levante David going to get a sack on Lamar for a loss of 10. Very next play, give it to Derrick Henry. Henry avoiding potential tackles. He's still going. He's got the first down, and he's going to keep on going, breaking a tackle. He's going to take this one 38 yards. Very next play, Lamar looking, waiting. He's got to throw to somebody. Going to throw for Rashad Bateman in the end zone for the touchdown, make it 35-10. The Buccaneers would get the ball. Last few seconds of the third quarter, Chase McLaughlin gets a 63-yard field goal. Pretty good field goal there. Makes it 35-13. But on Baltimore next possession, Jackson going to play action roll to his left in the fourth quarter. Throw for Nelson Aguilar. He's going to get this one to about the 8 on the 41-yarder. Oh, actually the 7, my bad. But on the very next play, Lamar going to give it to Rasheen Ali for the touchdown, 42-13. Baltimore still has a big lead. Mayfield going to try and run forward on the next possession. Nnamdi Madubuike gets credited with the loss of 7 on the sack. So, fourth down, hand off to White. Rashad White got the first down and more. A 10-yard run to help convert the fourth down. Mayfield, a couple plays later, going to throw to his left for Chris Godwin. Godwin going to take this one along the near sideline. This one's going to be a 40-yarder, getting to just outside of the red zone. A couple plays after that, Mayfield going to hand this one off to Rashad White, but he's going to fumble the ball on the tackle. He's going to get picked up by Marcus Williams of the Ravens. So this game is all but over if it wasn't already. Jackson tries to run forward, throws for Nelson Aguilar, avoids a potential tackle. Aguilar going to take this one into Tampa Bay territory, pretty deep into it as well. A 55-yarder, and a few plays later, Jackson going to play action, roll to his left, going to throw for Rasheen Ali yet again on the 49-13 lead for Baltimore. 19-yard touchdown pass there. Tampa Bay just playing for pride at this point. Mayfield going to throw to his right from Mike Evans, his most reliable receiver, and he's going to take this one into Baltimore territory on a 45-yard pass. A couple plays later, Mayfield in shotgun formation looks, doesn't like what he sees, running into lineman, decides, you know, if Lamar can take it, I can too. He's going to run this one in for a touchdown, a 26-yarder. To make it 49-20, but the Ravens going to put some final points on the board from a Justin Tucker 53-yarder. 52-20 is the final score. Tampa Bay goes to 1-5, unfortunately. Next week they take on the Atlanta Falcons. Meanwhile, the Ravens, they go to 5-1, and their next game, they're at the Cleveland Browns. It's important that the Ravens won this game because they are now going to be tied for second place with the loser between our Game of the Week contestants, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. First quarter, Bengals first possession, Burrow going to try and run forward, Myles Garrett going to get credited for the 8-yard sack. A couple plays after that, Burrow dropping back before he's going to get taken down in his own territory after being in Cleveland territory. Myles Garrett going to get credited with the 5-yard sack. The Browns will drive down the field. Dustin Hopkins' 22-yard field goal makes it 3-0. Next Bengals possession, Burrow looking, running forward, trying to avoid potential tackles, but Greg Newsome going to get credited with the 2-yard sack. Next play, Burrow dropping back, but Shelby Harris going to get to him, taking him down for a loss of 6. Next play after that, Burrow dropping back, trying to run forward, but Shelby Harris there to greet him, a loss of 8. Very next play after that, Elijah Moore, after the punt only got to shallow Cleveland territory, takes this one 20 yards into Cincinnati territory. Unfortunately, he's going to be injured on that play. So that means that Cedric Tillman going to come in at wide receiver while Pierre Strong Jr. comes in to both kick and punt returners, replacing Moore, who was at the punt returner. Start of the second quarter, Watson going to throw for Amari Cooper for the touchdown here. Make it 10-0 Cleveland. First play of the ensuing drive. Burrow trying to avoid 3 straight sacks yet again. Unfortunately, Greg Newsome going to give him a 4th sack in a row for how many times he's been on the field. A toss for Zach Moss, though, after they drive down the field for the 5-yard touchdown run, makes it 10-7. Next possession for the Browns, Watson going to try and run forward. He's going to get wrapped up before he fumbles. Sheldon Rankin's going to get credited with a strip sack, and Logan Wilson going to pick it up for Cincinnati on the 3-yard fumble recovery. A couple plays afterwards, Burrow going to get taken down by Myles Garrett. Yet again, that's his 3rd sack of the day. So they keep driving down the field. Evan McPherson with the 47-yard field goal makes this a 10-10 game. But Cleveland wants to score before halftime. Watson going to try and run forward with it. Takes it himself for the 7-yard touchdown run. Makes it 17-10 Cleveland. First play of the ensuing drive. Burrow going to get taken down by Myles Garrett's 4th sack of the day on him for the loss of 8. But they will not be deterred. Burrow going to throw just in time for Jamar Chase. Chase going to take this one along the far side before he starts coming back towards the middle. 43-yard pass to him. A couple plays later, Burrow going to try and run forward. Now Dalvin Tomlinson going to get credited with the sack on Burrow. Very next play, though, Burrow going to wait patiently, throw to his right for T. Higgins for the touchdown pass. A 48-yarder ties this game up at 17 at halftime. Third quarter, Watson, play action, rolling to his left. He's going to fumble the ball off the Logan Wilson strip sack. Jedrick Wills Jr., though, there to recover it for the Browns. A couple plays later, Watson going to try and throw for Jerry Jeudy to his left. Jeudy not going to get this ball, though. Von Bell going to get the interception. Takes us back 3 yards. They drive down the field. Cincinnati, Burrow just going to look and throw for T. Higgins over the middle for the touchdown. 24-17 Cincinnati. Next Browns possession. Watson looking, waiting, going to throw to his left for Jerry Jeudy yet again. Fortunately, it doesn't go into Von Bell's hands. Unfortunately, it goes into the hands of Cam Taylor-Britt, who picks him off and takes him back 15 yards. Very next play, Burrow dropping back, waiting patiently, going to throw for Jamar Chase. He's got this one, a 72-yard touchdown pass. Just going to avoid this one last tackle, and he's in for the touchdown, 31-17. Browns drive down the field. Hopkins going to kick a 49-yard field goal, but it goes wide left, so it's still a 14-point game. But the Browns would get the ball back quickly. Watson going to throw to his right for Cooper, who's got the touchdown here to make it 31-24. Bengals would drive down the field, but Evan McPherson going to have to use his leg for this one, a 38-yarder to make it 34-24. Ensuing kickoff, Pierre Strong Jr. going to take this one to about the 20. Unfortunately, he is injured, so Deontay Foreman going to have to come in for both kick and punt returns for the Browns. They need some kind of points then to stop Cincinnati on their next drive before they score again. Watson going to wait patiently, throwing to his right for Amari Cooper. Cooper going to take this one into Cincinnati territory, avoids the potential tacklers, but he's not going to score. It will be a 52-yarder, though. And a couple plays after that, Watson in shotgun formation. Who's he going to throw for? You know exactly who he's going to throw for. Amari Cooper to his right. Cooper, short little check down, but it's a touchdown nonetheless. 34-31, Cincinnati still has the lead. Next Bengals possession, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah going to get the sack on Burrow for 4 yards. On the very next play, though, Zach Moss going to break a tackle, keeps on going. This one probably going to put it away, a 30-yard run. They keep driving down the field. Less than a minute to go in the fourth quarter. McPherson with the 35-yard field goal makes it unobtainable for the Browns. 37-31. Bengals come away with the victory and remain perfect. They go to 6-0 and take on the Eagles next week. Meanwhile, Cleveland drops to 5-1. Like I said before, they got to take on Baltimore. Well, while the focus was on the undefeated Bengals and undefeated Browns, there's one more undefeated team in the AFC, and it's the Indianapolis Colts. They were taking on their polar opposite in the winless Miami Dolphins this week in Indianapolis. First quarter, Tua in shotgun formation, waiting patiently, throwing to his right for Jalen Waddle. Waddle with the leaping grab here to make it a 45-yard pass. Pretty good look there. They keep driving. Tua going to hand this one off to Raheem Mostert for the punch in from 2 yards out to make it 7-0 Dolphins. The Colts would punt on their next drive, and on the next Dolphins drive, a throw from Tua to Waddle along the near sideline. Waddle going to take this one to first and goal territory, and they keep on driving down the field. And a few plays later, Devon Achane punches it in for a touchdown, 14-0 Dolphins. Next Colts possession, Richardson going to throw to his left for Adonai Mitchell, who dives for the touchdown to make it 14-7 on the 25-yarder. Second quarter, Tua trying to run forward, running into linemen, trying to keep going forward. He's going to get strip sacked by Kenny Moore II. He's going to get picked up by DeForest Buckner, and Buckner going to score the scoop and score, a 34-yarder to make it tied up at 14. First play of the ensuing drive, Tua going to try and get that mistake out of his head. Throw for Jalen Waddle over the middle this time, and Waddle, can he, could he, will he? It's Jalen Waddle. You know the answer is yes. An 82-yard touchdown. Going to make it 20-14 though, because the extra point from Sanders was blocked. On the ensuing kickoff, Gould going to fumble the ball. It's going to bounce around before it's eventually picked up by Ryan Kelly. He's going to take this an additional 21 yards to get it to the 34-yard line. Colts would keep driving down the field. Richardson with the handoff to Jonathan Taylor for the 14-yard touchdown run. Next Dolphins possession, Tua barely gets out of his own end zone in time to be sacked by DeForest Buckner, but not make it a safety. Dolphins would punt. Next Colts possession, Richardson going to get taken down by David Long for the 11-yard sack. They would punt, and the Colts would then get another sack with Zaire Franklin, the sack machine, for a 10-yard sack. But the Dolphins still want to get points. Jason Sanders does get this one, a 57-yard field goal to make it 23-21. Third quarter, Richardson going to get taken down by Jalen Phillips for the loss of 5. Very next play, Richardson going to throw over the middle for Kylan Granson for the touchdown, 28-23 Colts. Dolphins would punt, and on the next possession for Indianapolis, Richardson going to take it himself, and he's going to fumble the ball. It's going to get picked up by Jalen Ramsey for 6 yards, and the Dolphins would drive down the field. Raheem Mostert with the 5-yard run here to make it 30-28. Dolphins have the inexplicable lead. Next Colts possession, throw for Michael Pittman Jr., intercepted by Jalen Ramsey, who's quite familiar with the Colts because he used to play for the Jaguars. Keep driving down the field. Jason Sanders with the 55-yarder to make it 33-28. The Colts, Matt Gay going to try a 55-yarder, nearly deflected here, but it does go through, so it's 33-31. On the ensuing kickoff, Jalen Wright, he is going to zig and zag around the defense before he makes a break for it. He's going to keep on going, going to get into Indianapolis territory, going to get taken down at about the 37, and unfortunately that will be all he will do for the rest of the day. Jeff Wilson Jr. going to come in for him after he got hurt on that kick return. So, Dolphins still have the lead. They need to maintain the lead. Tua going to look and throw for Jonnu Smith to his left. He's got this easy touchdown to make it 40-31. Next Colts possession, Anthony Richardson dropping back, trying to get this one off to Kylan Granson. Instead, he finds Kendall Fuller, who takes it back for Miami. But on the next drive, Tua going to try and throw for Jalen Waddle. Unfortunately, he finds Nick Cross of the Indianapolis Colts, so he gives it right back on the very next play. Richardson going to look and throw for Adonai Mitchell to his left. Mitchell going to avoid a potential tackle, and he's still going. He's going to make this one 33 yards, and he is hurt as well. A lot of injuries this week. This has not been a good past 2 weeks for people wanting to stay healthy. So Alec Pierce is going to come in to replace him. Colts keep on going. A screen pass for Jonathan Taylor becomes a touchdown to make it 40-38. Colts going to try an onside kick, but it's going to go right into Tua's hands. First play of the ensuing drive. Very next play, Tua waiting, throwing for Jalen Waddle, and Waddle's got this one easily. No one's going to even come close to catching him. 47-38. Colts just playing for pride at this point. Throw for Kylan Granson, unfortunately intercepted by Jordan Poyer. So the Dolphins no longer winless. The Colts no longer lossless. 47-38 is your final score. Dolphins go to 1-4, and they take on the Cardinals next week. This means the only winless team still in the NFL is the New York Giants. Meanwhile, the Colts drop to 5-1, and they've got a big divisional rivalry battle next week against the Houston Texans. The Panthers are probably glad they're not in the winless column anymore after their win last week, but can they make it 2 in a row? Well, they got to take on Jaden Daniels and the Commanders to start. First quarter on the first kickoff of the game. Byron Pringle going to take this one 33 yards out of the end zone. A couple plays later, Daniels going to get taken down by Derek Brown for a loss of 3. They keep driving down the field. Cade York with the 55-yard field goal puts the Commanders up first 3-0. but the Panthers would drive down the field. Bryce Young looking and throwing to his left for Deontay Johnson for the touchdown pass to make it 7-3 Panthers. But the Commanders will not be outdone. A throw for Olamide Zaccheaus from Daniels makes it 10-7. Commanders have the lead. The Panthers would punt on the next possession for the Commanders. Austin Eckler going to take this one. He's going to fumble it, but he fumbles it out of bounds. Start of the second quarter. Daniels going to look and throw for Scary Terry here. He's going to fumble it too, but he also fumbles it out of bounds. So it's still good for the Commanders. Daniels going to take this one himself a couple plays after that for the 14-yard touchdown run, 17-7 Washington. On the next Commanders possession, Derek Brown going to get his second sack on Jaden Daniels. So the Commanders will be forced to punt. Chuba Hubbard going to get tossed this one on the Panthers possession, and he is going to fight for every yard he can. It was a fourth down, by the way, a 5-yard run. A couple plays after that, Young going to throw for Jonathan Mingo for his right. He's got the touchdown here, 36-yard touchdown, makes it 17-14. Ensuing kickoff, Byron Pringle only going to take this one 16 yards before he is taken down and hurt. Injured on that return, Jeremy McNichols going to come in to replace him. They would keep driving down the field, and just before halftime, Cade York, 50-yard field goal, boots this one in, makes it 20-14 Washington. Third quarter, Washington's first possession. Daniels, play action, throws to Scary Terry to his right. Terry McLaurin, he's been a great weapon for Washington. He's going to make this one a 41-yard catch. But a couple plays after that, Daniels going to get strip sacked by Alan McNeil. Shaq Thompson going to come up with the fumble recovery for Carolina. They keep driving down the field. Eddie Pinheiro kicking a 29-yard field goal makes it 20-17. Washington still has the lead. Ensuing kickoff, Jeremy McNichols running along the middle before he cuts towards the near sideline. Keeps on going, but he's going to fumble the ball. It's going to bounce around before it eventually bounces out of bounds. So Washington still saves their chance at a possession. Daniels going to throw for Olamide Zaccheaus to his left. Leaping grab here for the touchdown. Make it 27-17. Washington's got a 10-point lead. Fourth quarter. Young dropping back. Going to throw for Deontay Johnson on this fourth down. And he's got it. And more. He's into Commanders territory. He's still going. A 42-yard catch by Mingo. A few plays later. Young dropping back. Looking and waiting. Got to throw to his left for Adam Thielen, who's got this touchdown to make it now 27-24. Commanders drive down the field. Got to go with Cade York since they couldn't quite score a touchdown. 30-24. Washington has the big lead here. So, fourth down. Young, looking, waiting. Who's he going to throw for? Jonathan Mingo. Mingo with the fourth down here, a 42-yarder. That sets up Carolina into good field position. They could potentially take the lead here. Young dropping back, looking, throwing for Mingo yet again for the touchdown. Carolina's got a 31-30 lead. Ensuing kickoff, Jeremy McNichols. Got to try and give good field position for the Commanders, but unfortunately he's hurt on this one. A 20-yard kick return turned into injury. So Luke McCaffrey going to have to come in for kick returns. So, first down, Daniels waiting patiently. Going to try and throw to his left for Olamide Zaccheaus. Zaccheaus going to take this one to about the 35, but they still aren't close enough. They at least have to get close enough for Cade York to get a field goal. Daniels going to run along the far sideline, but he's going to fumble the ball. It's going to get picked up by Derek Brown, who's taking it back the other way. And the Carolina Panthers escape our nation's capital with a victory, 31-30. Both teams go to 2-4. Carolina next week has a game in the mile-high city of Denver. Meanwhile, Chicago is going to be Washington's next opponent. That's going to be an interesting battle between the first two picks of this year's draft. Now to a matchup that a lot of people were probably excited for. Not often that you get a Super Bowl rematch the year after it happens. We had one last year with the Chiefs and Eagles. Now we have one this year with the Chiefs and 49ers. First quarter, Purdy dropping back, throwing to his right for Brandon Ayuk. Ayuk with the leaping grab here. Going to make this one a 61-yard touchdown. So San Francisco gets on the board first, 7-0. Next Chiefs possession, Mahomes dropping back, tries to run forward, gets it off in time for Marquise Hollywood Brown, who's gotten into 49ers territory and still on his feet. A 58-yard catch here. Very next play, though, Mahomes going to try and run forward before he's taken down by Nick Bosa for the loss of 2. Very next play after that, Mahomes dropping back, looking, trying to run forward. He's going to eventually get along the far sideline, but he's going to fumble the ball. He's going to bounce around into the hands of Fred Warner, who gets credited for the fumble recovery. A couple plays afterwards, Purdy going to throw for Brandon Ayuk yet again. Ayuk diving, gets back up, unable to score, but gets through the 2-yard line for a 41-yarder. Oh, that's not good. Brandon Ayuk, who had all this drama in the offseason of if he was going to even stay a 49er, is hurt. So Jawan Jennings is going to have to come in. Very next play, hand off to Jordan Mason for the 2-yard touchdown run to make it 14-0 San Francisco. Second quarter, Purdy going to try and throw to his left for Jordan Mason, but instead it's Justin Reed who he finds, who intercepts him. Very next play, Mahomes is going to get taken down by Amador Lenore for a loss of 9. A couple of plays later, Mahomes runs forward before he's taken down yet again by Amador Lenore. They keep driving down the field, though. Mahomes going to throw for Marquise Hollywood Brown, who's got the touchdown here to make it 14-7. After an exchange between punts, Purdy and shotgun formation, going to try and run forward, but he's going to get taken down by Michael Dana of the Chiefs. Sending back 4 yards, they would punt. Next Chiefs possession, Mahomes going to get taken down by Leonard Floyd for a loss of 7. 3rd and 15, so a couple plays after that, Mahomes going to get taken down by Leonard Floyd yet again for another loss of 7, so they would punt. Purdy going to get taken down by Drew Tranquil here for a loss of 9. The very next play, Purdy, play action, throw for Jawan Jennings. Jennings avoids 2 potential tackles, still on his feet. Can he get to a touchdown before halftime? No, but Jake Moody is going to try and get him some points before halftime anyway, but it's wide right. It's missed on a 52-yard field goal attempt. Third quarter, Purdy going to throw for Jawan Jennings here, intercepted though by Dwayne McDuffie for a touchback. Couple plays into the drive for the Chiefs. Mahomes going to get strip sacked by Amador Lenore. He's going to then pick it up and take it back 18 yards for the scoop and score. Makes it 21-7 San Francisco. Next Chiefs drive to keep driving down the field. Isaiah Pacheco going to get the direct snap for a 2-yard run. Makes it 21-14. Next 49ers possession, Purdy going to get taken down by Chris Jones. So they lose 9 on that one. They punt the ball. Xavier Worthy going to take this one into 49ers territory on a 32-yard punt return. Very next play, Mahomes is going to get taken down by Leonard Floyd for a loss of 8. Fourth quarter, Mahomes going to hand this one off to Pacheco, but he's not able to get the 4th down on that one. Turnover on downs. Then a touchdown run by Jordan Mason makes it 28-14. In the next Chiefs possession, Mahomes is going to try and run forward, but Amador Lenore with his 4th sack of the day for the loss of 3 yards on that one. They keep on fighting, though. Mahomes, 4th down, going to throw to his right for Travis Kelce, his most trusted weapon. Makes it a 20-yard reception there. Mahomes going to try and run forward here, but he's going to get taken down by Leonard Floyd yet again. So, 4th and 10. Mahomes needs something. Anything. Gonna have to get some emergency points. Gonna throw to his right for Xavier Worthy. Worthy leaping in the end zone for the touchdown here and make it 28-21. What, they got to get the ball back. Isaac Garendo going to take this one 14 yards out, and unfortunately that's going to do it for him. So Jacob Cowan going to come in after Garendo gets injured. He's only going to come in as the kick returner after already being the punt returner. So the 49ers going to try and seal this one up. Purdy going to get taken down by Leo Chenal for a loss of 9. But time running down, going to have to get some last-second points. Doinks it in off the left upright, and the 49ers get revenge, 31-21. They remain perfect at 6-0, and next week, probably their most hated rival, the Dallas Cowboys, will be coming to town. Meanwhile, Kansas City dropping to a very disappointing 2-3, and next week they have to head to Vegas to take on the Raiders. Now from the 49ers to a team that in recent years has really grown to hate them, the Green Bay Packers, who are hosting the Houston Texans this week. Stephon Diggs and Josh Jacobs returning for their respective teams. First quarter, 1st and 10, Stroud dropping back to look and throw for Tank Dell to his left. Dell with the leaping grab here, and he's still on his feet. A 57-yard reception here by Dell. That'll help to set up Kaimi Fairbairn with a 36-yard field goal to put the Texans up 3-0. First Packers possession of the game. We have a 2nd down and 3. Love dropping back, looking, waiting, throwing to his right for Jaden Reed, who leaps up to grab this one, and he's still going. Can he? Could he? Will he? No, he's going to get taken down on a 63-yard pass. Very next play, though, Love looking and throwing to his left for Romeo Doubs for the touchdown to make it 7-3 Packers. Next Texans possession. Stroud going to toss this one to Joe Mixon. Mixon running along the near sideline. Still going, but he's going to fumble the ball, and it's going to get recovered by Javon Bullard for a 7-yard recovery. Packers keep driving down the field. Love dropping back. Going to throw for Romeo Doubs, but instead he finds Jimmy Ward, who intercepts it. Second quarter after the Texans punt. Love dropping back. Going to try and throw for Jaden Reed yet again. Reed wide open on the dive. The Texans defense is going to try and catch him, but can he? Could he? Will he? He will after a really impressive last-second block there. 78-yard touchdown makes it 14-3. First play of the ensuing drive. Stroud going to try and throw to his right for Dalton Schultz, who's going to fumble the ball. Eric Stokes is going to pick it up and take it back the other way for Green Bay. A 30-yard scoop and score. 21-3 Green Bay. Next drive for Houston. Stroud dropping back, looking and throwing to his left for Diggs. Stephon Diggs. Can he? Could he? Will he? He will avoid one tackle, but not avoid the second once he gets into goal-to-go situation. Not able to score a touchdown, but the Texans going to kick a field goal. 25-yarder from Fairbairn makes it 21-6 Packers. Next possession for Green Bay. Love dropping back. Not able to avoid the tackle by Azeez Al-Shaair for the loss of 11, but they keep driving down the field. End of the second quarter. Toss for Josh Jacobs. Jacobs going to run along the far sideline, and he fights his way into the touchdown. 13-yarder makes it 28-6. On the ensuing kickoff, Dameon Pierce going to be injured on this 15-yard kick return. So that means Dare Ogunbowale is going to have to come in as the kick returner. Third quarter, Texans get the ball. Looking and waiting. Stroud going to get wrapped up for Keyshawn Nixon, takes him down for the loss of 5. Very next play, Stroud in shotgun formation. Going to try and run forward, get some extra yards, or even run for it himself, but Keyshawn Nixon there for another sack, sending him back 1 yard. They keep driving down the field. Braden Narveson on the kick here makes it 31-6. Texans would punt, so on the Packers' next drive, Love going to hand this one off to Josh Jacobs. He's going to avoid potential tackles, zigging and zagging around as he gets into Houston territory. He's going to get taken down at about the 38 for a 35-yard run. Very next play, they give it to him again, running along the near sideline, and this time there is no stopping him. He's going to get the touchdown here after fighting at the last second to make it 38-6 Green Bay. Next Texans possession, Stroud going to throw to his left for Stephon Diggs. Diggs going to keep on going. A 42-yard pass. He's had some familiarity playing against the Packers as a former Viking. Stroud, a couple plays later, going to hand this one off to Mixon for the touchdown to make it 38-13 Packers, who, on their next possession in the fourth quarter, Love is going to get sacked by Jalen Peter for the loss of 7. They would punt. Texans need some help. They need a miracle, actually, but TJ Slayton will prevent that miracle with a loss of 6. So they're going to go with the Kaimi Fairbairn 64-yarder, longest kick of the day, and one of the longest kicks of the season, makes it 38-16. Next drive for the Packers, Love going to get wrapped up before he's taken down by Mario Edwards for the loss of 6. Next Packers possession, Love going to hand this one off to Josh Jacobs, who's running along the far sideline, and he's still on his feet. He's going to keep on going. A 30-yard run that gets him into good field position and might have just put this game away. Love going to throw to his right for Jaden Reed. Reed going to take this one easily in for the touchdown at 41-yarder. Texans just playing for pride at this point. CJ Stroud dropping back. Going to look and throw to his left for Tank Dell. Dell going to take this one. Really good pass and a good connection between the two of them here. That's a first down after a 53-yarder. Very next play, Stroud going to try and throw a screen pass for Joe Mixon. Unfortunately, he finds Jair Alexander, who takes it back for Green Bay. So the Packers are going to try and add up some more points. The throw for Luke Musgrave is instead intercepted by Jimmy Ward, who takes it back for Houston. So they just need some kind of touchdown here, just for the sake of it. A throw to Diggs 13-yard touchdown pass means they will at least get a passing touchdown. They'll go for the onside kick here to try and get some more points. But Jaden Reed going to pick it up and take it back 31 yards. Gets them into good field position, but unfortunately time expires, but it doesn't matter anyway. Green Bay coming away with the 45-23 victory. They improve to 4-2. Next week they head down to Florida to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meanwhile, Houston, they take a loss and go down to 3-3, and next week they got to take on the Colts, who are probably really mad after their loss. It's not often that you hear about a revenge game for a coach, but Sean Payton returning to the field that made him such a big star and made him get traded to Denver, as the Broncos taking on the Saints. Marvin Mims Jr., Will McLaughlin, and Rashid Shaheed all returning from injury this week. First quarter, Saints got the ball first, so Derek Carr going to throw to his right for Chris Olave, and Olave avoids potential tackle there. He's going to keep on running. He's going to take this one 66 yards. Very next play, Carr going to toss this one to Alvin Kamara, who's going to run along the far sideline, and he's going to get the touchdown here. 15-yard touchdown makes it 7-0 Saints. First drive for the Broncos. Nix dropping back. All kinds of time. Going to throw to his left for Cortland Sutton. Sutton leaping up to grab this one with impressive acrobatics. Gets to about the 40. That's still a 45-yard pass. They keep driving down the field, but they can't score a touchdown. Will Lutz going to kick the 29-yard field goal to make it 7-3. Saints still have the lead. Saints would punt, and on the next Broncos possession, Nix going to try and throw to his left for Marvin Mims Jr. Leaping grab here. Not a big leap, but a little one. Makes it a 10-7 lead for Denver following the 50-yard pass there. The Saints would punt yet again, and on the next Broncos possession in the second quarter, a throw from Marvin Mims Jr. is yet again a leaping little catch there for a touchdown. This time a 59-yarder to make it 17-7. Ensuing kickoff, Rashid Shaheed going to try and take this one, but he's going to fumble the ball. Cody Barton going to pick it up for Denver, so they've got yet another chance to score with it. Nix waiting. All kinds of time to throw for Marvin Mims Jr., but unfortunately he doesn't find Mims. He finds Tyrann Mathieu, who picks it off for the Saints and lets Derek Carr, who is a former Raider, so he has familiarity playing against the Broncos, throw for Chris Olave for the touchdown here after avoiding a tackle. 48-yarder to make it 17-14. On the ensuing kick return, Marvin Mims Jr. avoiding every tackle he can and make it a 31-yard kick return, but unfortunately he is now hurt yet again. Troy Franklin going to come in at the wide receiver position. Audric Estime going to come in as the return man. A couple plays into the drive for the Broncos. Nix dropping back. Going to throw for Cortland Sutton to his left. Sutton going to take this one into the red zone for the Broncos. And a few plays later, Nix dropping back, but he's not able to hold, his offensive line not able to hold back Willie Gay, who's got the sack here. So they got to go for the Will Lutz 32-yarder, make it 20-14 after it was nearly deflected. Next drive for the Saints, Carr going to get taken down. Alex Singleton breaks through for the 9-yard sack. They would punt. Next Broncos possession. Less than a minute to go before halftime. Nick's going to throw to his left yet again for Cortland Sutton. He's got the leaping grab here. He's still on his feet. He's going to keep on going. He's going to fumble it, but he fumbles it out of bounds and quite a bit forward. So Will Lutz going to go with the 40-yard field goal to get some points before halftime, 23-14. On the ensuing kickoff, though, Rashid Shaheed going to take this one, try and get something. Going to fumble it, but it's going to go into the hands of Derek Carr, oddly enough. Third quarter, Saints drive. Carr going to look and wait, throw for Chris Olave. He's going to get this connection here. Olave going to take this one 44 yards. That'll set up some good field position for the Saints. First and goal here. Carr going to hand this one off to Taysom Hill for the 6-yard touchdown, make it 23-21. On the ensuing kickoff, Audric Estime going to run along the far side. Keeps on going, cuts back towards the middle. Finally taken down after a 33-yard kick return. A couple plays later, Nick's going to try and run forward, but Cameron Jordan there for the sack. Loss of 8. They would punt. Next Saints possession. Carr going to try and patiently wait before throwing to his right for Chris Olave, who's got the easy touchdown here to make it a 28-23 Saints lead. Ensuing kickoff, Audric Estime says, hey, I had a good return before, and I'm going to make another good return here. A 30-yard kick return for him. But unfortunately, Denver not able to come up with anything for it. Carr going to try and run forward here, but he's going to get taken down by Cody Barton. But plays later, Olave going to get this catch here, make it 36-yard touchdown, 35-23 Saints. Denver needs to score and score quick. Play action by Nix. Going to try and throw for Cortland Sutton. Two players leaping up to grab, but Tyrann Mathieu going to come down with it. The Honey Badger and the former LSU Tiger taking it back the other way for the Saints. That'll help to set up Alvin Kamara with a 5-yard touchdown run here. 42-23 Saints lead. So the Broncos need to score and score quick and score a lot. Nick's going to get taken down by Willie Gay for his second sack of the day. Loss of 8. A couple plays later, Nick's going to try and run forward. He's going to get wrapped up before he's taken down by Kalen Saunders. So they're going to have to go with a Will Lutz field goal here. 42-26, Saints still have a big lead on Denver. And on their drive, they would drive down the field. Alvin Kamara going to get the touchdown right here. A 7-yarder to make it 49-26. On the ensuing kickoff, Audric Estime going to take this one yet again as a deep return. A 45-yarder gets him out of the end zone and into about the 44. A couple plays later, though, toss for Franklin. Troy Franklin going to take this one to 46 yards into the red zone. Broncos just trying to play for pride at this point. So Nick's going to drop back. Time is run out, but he's going to throw for Troy Franklin on the 14-yard touchdown here. 49-33 is your final score down in the Superdome. The Saints improved to 4-2, and next week they get the Chargers in LA. That's going to be a big one. Meanwhile, Denver, unable to get the revenge for Sean Payton, they dropped to 1-5, and next week they got to take on the Panthers. Well, we mentioned the Chargers, since they're going to be playing the Saints next week. They had a pretty tough game this week, taking on the Arizona Cardinals. Greg Dortch making his triumphant return for Arizona. First quarter, Herbert in shotgun formation, trying to run forward. Going to get taken down by Bilal Nichols. That's all right, because a couple plays later, he's got another chance at it. Unfortunately, Bilal Nichols on the defensive line breaks through on that one, but they keep driving down the field. Herbert going to wait patiently and throw to his right for Josh Palmer for the touchdown. A 7-yard touchdown to make it 7-0. The Cardinals would punt, and on the next Chargers possession, Herbert going to throw to his left for Josh Palmer. Palmer, can he? Could he? Will he? He will not. Going to be stopped 2 yards short. That's all right, because on the very next play, Herbert going to give it to J.K. Dobbins to punch it in for a touchdown, make it 14-0. On the ensuing kickoff, Greg Dortch going to break a tackle as he keeps on going. He's going to make his return glorious, a 31-yard kick return. That'll help to set up Kyler Murray for later on in the drive when he throws a touchdown for Dortch, a 20-yard pass to him to make it 14-7, second quarter. Man in motion for Murray after the Chargers had punted. He's going to try and run forward, but he's going to get taken down by Morgan Fox for a loss of 6. They would punt. Next Chargers possession, Herbert going to try and run forward, but he's going to get wrapped up and taken down by Bilal Nichols for his third sack of the day. They would punt, and on the Cardinals' next drive, Morgan Fox would get to Kyler once again. So that would require a punt, correct? No, because Murray going to throw this one for Michael Wilson for a touchdown from 21 yards out. We're tied up at 14. On the ensuing kickoff, Davis going to run along near the far side, comes back to the middle, a 30-yard kick return. That'll help to set up a good field position for Herbert before halftime. Unfortunately, Kaiser White not going to let him get any farther for the loss of 10. Third quarter, Cardinals have the ball to start. Murray going to try and run forward. Joey Bosa takes him down from behind for the loss of 2. But a couple plays after that, Murray going to try and connect with Michael Wilson. Leaps up to grab this one. A big leap. This one is going to be a fumble, but it's going to get recovered by James Conner, who takes it 20 yards, keeping the drive alive for the Cardinals. A couple plays after that, Wilson going to hand this one off to Conner for a touchdown. A 3-yard punch in to make it 21-14. Next Chargers possession, Herbert waiting patiently, throwing to his right for DJ Chark. Chark going to run up the middle for this one, a 40-yard pass to him. They keep driving down the field, and Herbert going to look and wait patiently, throw for J.K. Dobbins, instead goes into the arms of Budda Baker for the touchback. He's been a great defensive weapon for Arizona. Very next play, Murray going to try and run forward, running into lineman before he's taken down by Morgan Fox for the third sack today. They punt, and Darius Davis going to get wrapped up, trying to break free, unable to, going to fumble the ball. Paris Johnson Jr. got one man to beat, and he will, for the touchdown to make it 28-14 Arizona. Next Chargers possession, Herbert trying to run forward, getting wrapped up before he's eventually going to get taken down by Roy Lopez for a loss of 8. But they still keep the drive going. A toss to J.K. Dobbins running along the near sideline. Keeps on going, but he's going to fumble the ball. It's going to bounce around before it bounces out of bounds. We go into the fourth quarter now. Chargers need some help. Herbert tosses this one to J.K. Dobbins, who's going to run along the far sideline. He's got the touchdown to make it 28-21 on the ensuing kickoff. Greg Dortch going to take this one up to the near side. He's going to get wrapped up before he's eventually taken down. Fumbles it, but fumbles it out of bounds. So the Cardinals have some good field position, but they would punt. Darius Davis on the punt return. He's going to get wrapped up before he's taken down. And he's not going to get back up under his own power. He's injured. That means that they're going to have to rely on Gus Edwards for their kick and punt returns. A couple plays later, Herbert going to toss this one to J.K. Dobbins, who's running near the far side. It fumbles the ball. It bounces into the hands of Budda Baker, who's going to make this one a 21-yard scoop and score, make it 35-21 Cardinals. Chargers kickoff following that. Edwards going to run along the near side. Avoiding potential tackles, keeps on going, zigging and zagging. A 43-yard kick return. That gets good field position for Herbert to throw this pass to Josh Palmer. Palmer on the far side, dives for it, gets back up. Can he? Could he? Will he? No, he's going to get stopped, but it is a 50-yarder. And unfortunately, they're not able to score a touchdown, so they go with Cameron Dicker, the kicker. 27-yard field goal to make it 35-24. But the Cardinals going to seal this game with a James Conner punch-in from 4 yards out. 42-24. Arizona has the palindrome lead. Herbert going to try and run forward, but he's going to get wrapped up before getting taken down by Garrett Williams for a sack. A couple plays later, Herbert looking and waiting. Going to throw this one for DJ Chark to his right. Chark got the first down and more, gets into Arizona territory, but he fumbles the ball. Bounces around until Jalen Thompson picks it up. Doesn't bounce around all that much. But it's still Arizona with the victory here. Murray going to give this one to Connor. He gets an 18-yard big run. 49-24. Arizona comes away with the victory here. They go to 3-3, and next week they have to head to Miami. Meanwhile, the Chargers drop to 3-2, and next week they host the Saints for our Week 8 game of the week. It's been a while since the Lions have had hope in back-to-back seasons, and they're going to keep that hope going as they head up to Minnesota to take on their division rivals, the Vikings. First quarter, Goff in shotgun formation throws for Jameson Williams to his right. Williams got an easy one here. He is going to score, right? No, the defense going to catch up to him, take him out 2 yards before he can score. 65-yard pass, then nothing to sneeze at. David Montgomery going to finish the job, a 2-yard touchdown run to make it 7-0. On the ensuing kickoff by DJ Ham's return, he's going to take this one along the near side, a 19-yard kick return, and unfortunately, he is not going to get much farther. He's going to be hurt, and Ty Chandler is going to have to come in to replace him at kick return. So, Sam Darnold's first chance with the ball. Looking, waiting, gonna try and throw this one to the left for Jordan Addison. Addison with a big catch here, wide open for the touchdown to make it 7-6, because unfortunately, Will Reichardt's kick doinks off the right upright, no good. On the ensuing kickoff, Craig Reynolds gonna zig and zag around as much as he can. He's gonna get a big return here, a 56-yard kick return that goes into Minnesota territory. Sets a good field position for the Lions. Goff, play action, roll to the left. You know he's going to try and find somebody. Throwing for Jameson Williams, unfortunately overthrows him, and instead it goes into the hands of Harrison Smith, who gets the touchback interception. Very next play, though, Sam Darnold, play action, roll to the left. Jack Campbell and the rest of the defense takes him down for the loss of 11. A couple plays later, Sam Darnold, play action, roll to the left yet again, this time avoiding potential sacks as he throws for Jordan Addison. Addison, wide open, nothing but green fields ahead of him. He's going to get the touchdown to make it 13-7. On the next Lions drive, Goff, dropping back, hands off, no, play action, roll to the left. Who's he looking for? Amon-Ra St. Brown, the best Lions weapon by far. He's going to make this one a 57-yard pass, and that's how they start the second quarter. Goff going to play action, roll to his left again a couple plays later. Throw for Amon-Ra St. Brown. This time it's a touchdown. 14-13 Lions. First play of the ensuing drive. Darnold in shotgun formation, looking patiently. waiting, throwing over for Justin Jefferson. Instead, it's Brian Branch. Tom Grossi somewhere is not happy about that. A couple of plays into the drive, Goff going to look and throw for Jamison Williams to his right in the corner of the end zone for the touchdown to make it 21-13. But the Vikings, shotgun formation for Darnold. He's going to throw it to his right for who else? Justin Jefferson, one of the best receivers in the game right now, 21-20, following that 21-yard touchdown pass. On the next drive for the Lions, Goff throws for Williams. He's running along the near sideline. He's coming back towards the middle. The defense is catching up with him, but a 44-yard pass is still pretty good. A couple plays after that, Goff decides, I don't like any of these options. I'm taking it myself. Runs along the sideline. His defenders, his guardsmen, giving him all kinds of protection. 23-yard touchdown as he avoids tackles. 28-20 Lions going into halftime. Third quarter, Darnold gonna throw for Justin Jefferson yet again to his right. Jefferson casually takes this one like it's nobody's business. A 62-yard catch. And that'll help to set up Will Reichard's field goal, a 22-yarder, since they couldn't quite get a touchdown here. 28-23 Detroit. Next Lions possession. Goff going to play action, roll to his left. Who's he going to look for? Nobody. He's running it himself. Running along the far sideline. Going to fumble the ball. Goes into the hands of Stephon Gilmore, the former Patriot. And that'll help to set up a Will Reichard 54-yard field goal, but unfortunately that kick goes wide left. Very next play. Goff, play action, roll to the left. Who's he going to look for? Amon-Ra St. Brown. You cannot forget to cover this man, especially when it's a play action roll to the left. And that'll help to set up a Jake Bates 23-yard field goal. 31-23, Lions take the lead. Next Vikings possession. Running out of time in the third quarter and in the game. Darnold running forward. Going to get wrapped up before he's taken down by Alex Anzalone. So we go into the fourth quarter. Lions get the ball. First play of the fourth quarter is a play action roll to the left, but the defense there to stop him. Stephon Gilmore, another sack to add to the Vikings stat sheet. Next play, Goff going to hand this one off to Montgomery, who's not going to get too far, and that's just the start of the problems. He is injured, so Craig Reynolds going to come in his place. Couple plays after that, Goff trying to run forward, going to get wrapped up before Jonathan Bullard takes him down for the loss of 5. They'd be forced to punt. Next Vikings possession, they drive down the field. Darnold with the play action roll to the left. They need points and quick. Throw for Jordan Addison in the end zone for the touchdown to make it 31-30. But on the first play of the ensuing drive, Jahmyr Gibbs running along the near sideline. This man is just as much of a threat on the Lions as anybody else there. That's a first down for Detroit. A couple plays after that, Goff waiting patiently, gonna throw to his left for Amon-Ra St. Brown for the touchdown pass. 38-30 Detroit. First play of the next drive. Darnold gonna hand this one off to Aaron Jones. This man has played the Lions before as a former Packer. He's running up along the far side, gonna get taken down in Detroit territory, but a 33-yard run is still pretty good. But the Vikings need points. Play action roll to the left for Darnold, evading some potential tacklers. Throw to the middle for Justin Jefferson, who's waiting for it, and Jefferson gonna get stopped just short of the end zone. But that's all right. They got Aaron Jones for the touchdown run, make it 38-37. They're gonna go for the onside kick. Goes into the hands of Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's got some pretty good hands, that kid. So, this one's over, right? Hand it off to Craig Reynolds, but he fumbles the ball. It goes into the arms of Harrison Smith, who's running along the far sideline. They got time for maybe one more play. If Donald can get a good throw, play action, roll to the left, avoids a potential tackle, can't avoid this one. Jack Campbell takes him down, and that is how the Lions come away with the victory to remain undefeated. 38-37 Detroit. They go to 5-0 and take on the Titans next week. Meanwhile, the Vikings drop to 1-4, and they got to take on a team who's also suffering from a very disappointing year in the form of the LA Rams. And now we head to jolly old England for our third game of the year in the United Kingdom, where the Jacksonville Jaguars are taking on the New England Patriots. Marcus Jones makes his return for New England. On the first quarter, Sir Trevor Lawrence will get sacked by Jawan Bentley for the loss of 2. However, he will then give it off to Mr. Travis Etienne for the touchdown to make it 7-0 Jaguars.
On the first possession for the Patriots, the mighty Demario Douglas ties this game up at 7 points. In the next possession that the Patriots will get, Jacoby Brissett, he will be unfortunately sacked by Trayvon Walker. And so, one Joey Sly will attempt the 58-yard field goal, but it will unfortunately doink, as the Americans say, off the left upright. In the second quarter, Sir Devin Lloyd will sack King Brissett, and unfortunately, the King would suffer a horrific injury, so the young Drake May will come in to replace him. A few plays later, Sir May would throw to Demario Douglas once again, and Demario Douglas would score again for the 14-7 lead, but the Jaguars would not be. And on the Jaguars' next possession, Sir Marcus Jones would once again get to Sir Lawrence. On the very next play, Sir Lawrence and his mighty Jaguars would show their camaraderie as one Brian Thomas Jr. would get his touchdown here, but the Drake will not let this pass. Unfortunately, Sir Josh Hines Allen would make his sack on the Drake and take him down. On the punt return, Sir Devin Duvernay would return to 32 yards, and it would help the connection between Sir Trevor Lawrence and the captain, young Christian Kirk, who would get this touchdown here to make it a 21-14 lead. The Patriots, however, would like to go into halftime with some points by tying up this game, and so Sir May would throw for Jalen Polk for a tie of 21 points apiece. But to end the second quarter of play, Keon White would sack Sir Lawrence for the loss of 4. In the third quarter, one Ramondre Stevenson would fumble the ball, and it would be picked up by the Jaguars, and their Ronald Darby would take it back 18 yards. And on the very next play, Sir Lawrence, on a drop-back pass, would throw once again for the captain known as Kirk, the Christian Kirk, who would get 49 yards on this reception. However, they are unable to score a touchdown, so the littlest Cam would score a 34-yard field goal to make it a 24-21 lead. Ramondre Stevenson would once again be given the ball, and this time he would hold on to it with a 30-yard run. On the very next play, however, Sir Devon Hamilton would get his sack on the young Prince May for a loss of 9 yards. Devin Lloyd would then break through on the young Prince for a loss of 2. And they would be forced to punt. Marcus Jones would sack Sir Lawrence for a loss of 8, but he would not be deterred. Dietrich Wise would sack him for a loss of 2, but he would not be deterred. In the fourth quarter, Trevor Lawrence would be sacked once again by Jawan Bentley, but he would not be deterred. In a Churchillian effort, Travis Etienne would get a touchdown run to make it 31-21. Ronald Darby would then intercept the young Prince Drake to take it back for the Jaguars. On the very next play, however, Davon Godchow would get another sack. And on the very next play, Jelani Tavai would get his sack on Sir Lawrence. They would be forced for the littlest Cam to make a 47-yard field goal, and this time it would go through to make it 34-21. The young Prince needs an effort for a touchdown, but Antonio Johnson would intercept it for Drake May. That would take it back for Jacksonville, and Travis Etienne would get a 9-yard touchdown run to put the Jaguars up 41-21 in this shellacking of the New England Patriots. An amazing and impressive pass to Demario Douglas would look very good, but it would not be enough to score points for the Patriots. They would lose this game 41-21 to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and next week they will return home to the United States, where they will take on their division rival New York Jets, while the Jacksonville Jaguars will be taking on the Green Bay Packers in their home stadium of Jacksonville.
And now for our final game to cover this week. We mentioned the Red Hot Jets. Well, they're taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are trying to keep going with the win they got last week. First quarter, Najee Harris going to get this 12-yard touchdown run to make it a 7-0 Pittsburgh lead. First play of the ensuing drive, though, Rodgers going to look and throw to his left for Garrett Wilson. Wilson wide open, but he still has a couple men he has to beat. Unable to beat them, but it's a 64-yard pass. That's still pretty good. And that'll help to set up a few plays later. This connection from Rodgers to Breece Hall, a 1-yard touchdown catch, ties this game up at 7 points apiece. Next Steelers possession. Russell Wilson, play action, but the defense isn't fooled. C.J. Mosley gets the sack for 10 yards. A few plays later, Chris Boswell with the 54-yard field goal puts Pittsburgh up 10-7. Next drive for New York. Rodgers dropping back. Going to try and throw to his right for Mike Williams for the 12-yard reception. Unfortunately, he is injured. It's unfortunate. But the Jets do still have Israel Abanikanda to come in for them. Second quarter, Greg Zerlane, 38-yard field goal ties this game up at 10. Next Steelers possession. Russell Wilson in shotgun formation tries to run forward, but Quincy Williams there to take him down for the loss of 8. Very next play, Wilson going to play action, waiting, looking, gonna throw to his right for George Pickens, and Pickens with the leaping catch here grabs this one and gets the touchdown to make it 17-10 Steelers. Next Jets possession, Rodgers dropping back, looking for an open man. Going to try and find Garrett Wilson, and he does connect with him on the left side. Wilson keeps on going. Going to eventually get taken down, but it's a 54-yard pass. That helps to set up this Greg Zerlane 46-yard field goal to make it 17-13. So the Jets at least get something on the board out of this. Into the Steelers possession. Wilson with the play action yet again. He's going to throw for George Pickens yet again to his right. George Pickens with this one. Going to take it 51 yards. That'll help set for this Chris Boswell 49-yard field goal to make it 20-13. But the Jets want to score something before halftime. Less than a minute to go. Rodgers dropping back. Going to throw over the middle for Allen Lazard for the touchdown. Ties this game up at 20. And on the first play of the ensuing drive, the only play left before halftime, C.J. Mosley gets the sack on Russell Wilson for a loss of 8. Third quarter, first possession for the Jets. Breece Hall going to take this one along the near sideline. Unfortunately, he's going to be injured. That was a 10-yard run. So that means Isaiah Davis going to have to come in for him at the running back position. Very next play. Rodgers going to toss this one for Davis, who's going to run along the far sideline. Let's see what he can do. Well, he's going to fumble the ball. And it's going to get picked up by T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt fighting the potential tacklers, and he's still going. Can he? Could he? Will he? He will. A 66-yard scoop and score by T.J. Watt makes it 27-20 Pittsburgh. Next Jets possession, a throw for Conklin. Tyler Conklin is going to get this one into good Steelers field territory. A 53-yarder. Very next play, Rodgers in shotgun formation tries to run forward. Who's there to take him down? T.J. Watt for a loss of 7. So they got to go with the Greg Zerlane field goal, a 50-yarder, to make it 27-23. The Steelers would punt and the Jets would drive down the field. They'd go for another field goal from Zerlane, this time a 54-yarder, to make it 27-26 on his 4th field goal of the day. Fourth quarter, after the Steelers once again punt, Cameron Hayward going to sack Aaron Rodgers for a loss of 3. The Jets would be forced to punt. On the next Steelers possession, Russell Wilson runs forward. He's going to get wrapped up and taken down by Michael Carter for a loss of 3, but they keep driving down the field. Wilson in shotgun formation, going to look and throw for George Pickens, who's just outside the end zone. Gets the touchdown here, though, to make it 34-26. Steelers take the lead even further. A Rodgers throw for Garrett Wilson to the left side is a real good connection here. He gets into good territory for Pittsburgh, but it's territory that the Jets have. He gets into good Steelers territory. A couple plays later, Cameron Hayward going to get the sack on Aaron Rodgers for the loss of 9 on his 2nd sack of the day. A couple plays after that, shotgun formation, Rodgers going to get taken down by Landon Roberts for a loss of 3, and that was a 4th down too, so it's a turnover on downs. Russell Wilson, play action, going to throw for George Pickens, and once again, Russell Wilson going to come out the victory between him and Aaron Rodgers. And to add an unfortunate insult to injury, Isaiah Davis injured on the 15-yard kick return. So that means Malachi Corley is going to have to come in at the running back position, while Garrett Wilson will come in as the return man. Either way, Pittsburgh comes away with a 41-26 victory. They go to 3-3, and they host the other New York team next week in the form of the New York Giants. Meanwhile, the Jets drop to 4-2. Their hot streak is over, but next week they get the New England Patriots. This has overall been a very interesting week in the Tecmo NFL season. Some surprise wins, some rather major wins, but of course we have to check in on how every team is doing in the standings now that we've covered every game. We'll start out obviously in the AFC East, where the New York Jets still have the lead despite their loss. They're at 4-2, but they're only a game ahead of the Buffalo Bills, who are at 3-3. Miami, with their first win, actually goes to 1-4 and improves to third in the AFC East. Meanwhile, the Patriots are in fourth at 1-5. Moving on to the AFC North, the Bengals sitting atop the entire conference at 6-0, but they're only a game ahead of the Ravens and Browns, the two teams they beat, who are now tied for second place, and they play each other next week. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh, with 2 wins in a row under their belt, they're at 3-3. They're only 2 games behind Baltimore and Cleveland. Moving on to the AFC South, despite losing to a team that didn't have any wins before this week, the Indianapolis Colts are still at the top of the division at 5-1. They're 2 games ahead of the Texans and Jaguars, who are both tied at 3-3. The Texans have the advantage because they won their bout back in Week 4. And meanwhile, Tennessee is at 2-3, half a game behind both of those teams. And moving on to the West, the Chargers, despite their loss, are still atop that division at 3-2, 1 game ahead of the Kansas City Chiefs, who are at 2-3, and a game and a half back of the Chiefs are the Raiders and Broncos, who are tied at 1-5 each. The Raiders having the tiebreaker because they won their game earlier in the season. And now on to the NFC. We start in the East, where the Eagles now have the lead at 2-3. They're tied with the Cowboys. The Commanders at 2-4 are a half game out of first place, as they were the ones that had been overtaken by Philadelphia. And the Giants still sit as the only winless team in the league at 0-6. Moving on to the NFC North, the Detroit Lions sitting at the top of that division at 5-0. But be careful for the Green Bay Packers. They can sneak up on you. They're 4-2. They play each other in Week 9, so that could be an interesting game. Chicago at 2-3 had their bye week this week, but they're still in third place and ahead of the Vikings, who are unfortunately at 1-4. Moving onward to the NFC South, where the New Orleans Saints now have sole possession of first place in that division at 4-2. 1 game ahead of the Atlanta Falcons, who are at 3-3, and the Falcons are 1 game ahead of the Panthers, who are now at 2-4, after having started at 0-4. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay is at 1-4 and is currently at the bottom of the division. And finally, we move on to the NFC West, where the San Francisco 49ers are currently in charge of that division, easily at 6-0. They beat the second place NFC West team, the Seattle Seahawks, a couple weeks ago. Seattle at 4-2. Arizona, though, catching up on them at 3-3, only a game behind them. Meanwhile, the Rams are at 2-3. They're a half game behind Arizona. But anything is possible in that NFC West. But before we sign off, we're obviously going to have to look at our player of the week, and what a surprise! It's a repeat from last week. It's Lamar Jackson. Lamar was 17 for 21 on his passing attempts this week, throwing for 411 yards, which is more yardage, but it is slightly less yards per attempt. Regardless, though, it's still over 19.5 yards per attempt, and it's 5 touchdowns for Lamar just from passing. He has a perfect passer rating, which he didn't have last week. Meanwhile, he's also still running well, with 5 runs for 40 yards, that's 8 yards per run, and running it for 2 touchdowns. And that's going to do it for us here at Tecmo Rewind. A reminder that this Thursday, we will have our Week 8 game of the week between the New Orleans Saints and the Los Angeles Chargers. and to come back next week for our Week 8 edition of Tecmo Rewind. For all of us here at SVGN, the Sports Video Game Network, I'm your host, Joe, saying good night, everybody!